if we can tap the potential of each child, the uniqueness of each child, parents have to be friends. They have to understand their child.
Hello everyone, I'm your host Seema Chhoriya and I bring to you another legendary figure from the world of Indian academia. Our first stage of existence is truly honored by a magnificent view of our destination. So when a person has that clarity and a passion to walk the arduous path, it is not only the destination, even the journey matters. We leave a trail of little, big success stories, heartwarming, inspiring, and encouraging, leading us on until we become the journey and the destination. Today, in conversation with me is legendary septuagenarian Dr. Punam Kashyap, Director of Education, Delhi World Foundation. And I'm awestruck. When I meet someone whose experience is more than my age, I'm truly overwhelmed by their wisdom. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Punam Kashyap, Director of Education, Delhi World Foundation. Welcome to Great Principles, ma'am. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you very much, Seema. That was very sweet of you. A sweet introduction. Should I start or will you question me?
Ma'am, I have one question for you to begin our conversation, and that is for all my viewers. I will take you where ma'am's journey began. So, once upon a time, ma'am was a music enthusiast who wanted to make the world sing. And today, she is enabling the children of tomorrow to make this world a better place. It was a calling and accepted and found being an educator was far more gratifying. So, ma'am, tell us about your journey, your vision, and your journey in education.
Thank you, sweetie. If I can touch a heart, radiate warmth, exude joy, bring about a smile, make a little difference, I feel blessed. And when I reminisce this beautiful journey of mine, it is with a lot of joy, a lot of pride, a lot of humility, and a lot of gratitude to God. My parents were very passionate about education and music both, very caring, intelligent. They instilled values and a lot of discipline. They were really inspirational, and that's how our whole family has been doing very well in various fields. Parents play a very important role. So that is one thing I must give that tribute to my wonderful parents. They both excelled in their fields. My mother was a national badminton champion for 4 consecutive years. And while we were very tiny, my sister and I. Anyway, I studied Indian classical music, which was my passion. It still is. It's just that I pursue it for various reasons. I'll come to that also. But I did this simultaneously with my graduation and post-graduation, and got the highest degree of music, the doctorate in music, from Allahabad University, from Prayag Sangeet Samiti, Allahabad. I married at 20, very young, but thanks to my very wonderful, supportive husband, I was able to continue with my studies. I did my B.Ed, I did my MPhil, I did my PhD. And of course, I went all over the world, even to Finland, to, keep learning, keep evolving. So it was all thanks to the very supportive husband that I've got. I've traveled the world over. I've attended seminars by the grace of God, lots of various experiences, conferences, workshops, and I've conducted ESL workshops at Eton and Oxford. This was really a great blessing, because an Indian teacher teaching the British teachers and the British students is a little different, isn't it? When I reached the airport, all of them would ask me, when I was at the counter where we have to get in, they said, do all Indians speak English like you? And I was very young at that time. I was just newly married. So I said, yes. I was so proud of my own country that we speak your language better than you, because our grammar is more ingrained. So I started as an English and music teacher at Welham Girls High School, Dehradun, a very reputed school of our country. And I was the youngest teacher. I would cycle to school. Then I married an army officer in 1969 and took up teaching again after giving birth to both kids, and then did my B.Ed also. So ever since, it's been a very non-stop journey, right from 1978, 4 decades and above, from a teacher to HOD to house warden, coordinator, headmistress, principal, director, GEMS Education, and now with the Delhi Education, where, I mean, it's a very big challenge because I'm running almost 70 schools, and right from inception to management, to curriculum delivery, to teacher training, to everything. I mean, you name it and it's there. And we've been doing all kinds of different events, virtually and otherwise, keeping everybody afloat during the pandemic, all this 1.5 years, a little more than that, and keeping everyone charged, keeping everyone motivated. It's really a big challenge even now because schools are opening, but they're trickling back. So Wellams was a senior English teacher and a music teacher, then DPS Mathura Road. I was just an ordinary teacher, then rose to head of the department very quickly. Then Modern High School, Dubai, I was sent as headmistress. Then I headed and launched DPS Kuwait, where I was there for 14 years. And then director GEMS Education. In the corporate office, the India vertical I was handling because I wanted to come back home after so many years. And of course, I led both the pre and post-operational phases, and we created lots of schools. We did a lot of work. And I must say at this point that GEMS taught me what no one could have taught me. Their systems, their policies, their structures are so beautifully ingrained that, I mean, there's a lot to learn. What I hadn't learned in so many years, I learned in just 6-7 years. I authored books for children, which were greatly appreciated by our ex-president, APJ Abdul Kalam. He happened to come across my books at a book fair in Delhi and picked them up and sent them to Frankfurt World Book Fair, and also invited me to Rashtrapati Bhavan. I mean, just very simple books I'd written for children, but they got so much of applause. So this is all God's grace. This is all, these are blessings. All little things, I've counted them as my blessings, and I thank God every single morning. Then I launched and headed DPS Kuwait, and I took it to unprecedented glory in various arenas, particularly the World Debating Tournament. We, for 6 consecutive years, we won the ESL. ESL trophy is the English for Second Language trophy, which was a very big thing over there. And so I took my team, after training them, to Peru, to Scotland, Cardiff, England, lots of places. I was also appointed the world adjudicator every year, and I still am, although now I don't really travel very much, but that's a very prestigious, kind of a appointment, because they do it after it took them a year to take the decisions. There's a lot that goes into it. And, these debates are not like the debates we have in India, that you have a for and an against and all that. No, this is a team. And it goes, 16 to 17 days the tournament lasts. So it's something very involved. The children learned a lot. I had a team of 6 or 7 at every country every year. So a lot of relevant international exposure, again, by the grace of God. I worked in Dubai and in Kuwait. Dubai, I was with Modern High School, with the Sani Marki School. And I've been a resource person at several conferences in the Middle East and UK. And recently, of course, I was part of the Indian Education Research Delegation of Finland. I've launched several schools of various curricula. I mean, all these are opportunities by God. I mean, not that I had really envisaged or imagined or dreamt, but it's just happened. And from feasibility to actual launch, developing curriculums, operational standards, systems, policies, academic audit tools, together with creating and delivering leadership and teacher training modules. And as a young army Jawan, army officers' wives, I nurtured the army Jawan's wives, teaching them how to make their hair, how to, create certain dishes and how to wear saris, and even made them walk the ramp. So, it was like a different world that we created for those Jawans' wives, because we were the only married couple there. They were all young officers' wives and Jawans. So it was all very nice. And I've also had the opportunity of, looking after lots of underprivileged children, because where we were staying in Delhi, in Greater Kailash, there was a big park which was full of all these. It was like a slum area, which I won't say I alone, but again, God made me a medium to change that. I will say that. I was an instrument whereby I brought about a change from that slum area to a very beautiful residential thing that I made for them, clean, neat, and I would come back from DPS Mathura Road and have tea with them every evening. So, they felt so good. I mean, I could teach quite a lot. So, and I really, it gave me quite a boost from inside that, God has given me this opportunity. And you see it in front of you that things have changed. Now, I've been on various boards earlier, and every day somebody or the other is, asking for it, because 40 plus years, meaning 4 decades plus, is quite a journey. It's more than a lifetime, actually. I'm almost at the fag end, but nevertheless, at the moment, still going strong, whatever. Various boards, as a mentor, as an advisor, as some very well-known boards, even Vidya schools. There are 29 schools in the country. These are, for underprivileged children, but it's a very, kind of high-class education is given, because the principal is paid the same that we pay to our principals. So there's no change. Of course, 7th pay commission is not paid to the teachers, but 5th and 6th they are getting, and then we keep training them. So it's really a joy on the whole. So my vision is that, since I very strongly believe that every child is a hero, so if we can tap the potential of each child, the uniqueness of each child, and we are able to respect that in each child, and we create good human beings with an ethos of joy and happiness, we are done. That is what we require. Everything else, your physics, chemistry, and everything will come automatically. The focus has to shift from all that, because it's all available now. At the click of a button, information is available everywhere. So that's not what we need to worry about or to give. We need to look at the emotional angle. We need to create good human beings and understand what is it that the child has in him to give. Everyone has something to give.
Certainly, ma'am. Hearing your journey, I think it's called for a biopic. Certainly. There are so many things, I'm wondering, what am I leaving out? Ma'am is a singer, she's a mother, she's a teacher, she is a mentor, she's a guide, she is also guiding, she's also a soft skill trainer where she's guiding the army couples, she's also teaching dishes, and look at her, what energy. If I could gain even 10% of that, I'm sure I would have been doing something else. Amazing, ma'am.
This is all, it comes from God only, passion. I'm telling you, if everybody understands the word passion and pursue that passion, what I tell my children, little ones also, you begin to dream big, and then hold it and passionately pursue it. And that's it. That's what's required. That is where we are missing. Sometimes there are parents who are helicopter parents. They won't allow the child to think on his own. So we need to come in there also. Parental engagement in the positive manner, in the right manner. Parents have to be friends. They have to understand their child. I mean, I can see a gamut of parents, and I've gone through a lot. And I know of some senior children when I was heading DPS Kuwait, 12th class boys, 2 of them, they were brothers. All they did was steal their own mother's jewelry and go out and buy gadgets. I'm telling you that and they are very affluent parents, affluent homes. Now you need to make them understand, you don't know how much time and energy I spent in getting that whole home back again on track. And they're with me, they're in America now, but everyone's connected with me. Emotionally, yes, physically also, and nowadays digitally. So that's the greatest blessing I've received from God, that if I've been able to, as I said right in the beginning, touch somebody's life, if I'm able to, change something or really inspire, I think I've done more than my share of being on this earth. Yes.
Certainly, ma'am. You're not only inspiring and guiding and shaping students. In fact, you are creating teachers to be the leaders of tomorrow, to lead the schools, to coach the way you are doing. So, what a phenomenal, wonderful journey, ma'am, you have. So, ma'am, I would like to know one thing from you now. How does a school head manage to train and coach staff to deliver quality learning experience?
You know, that's again, the motivation comes from the head. Number one, most importantly, we have to get the best leadership. I mean,
Certainly.
parents, and I can tell you, wherever I've got so many schools at the moment, and out of my almost 70 schools, I've got 36 schools who are doing brilliantly well. When I make my chart, my schools of pride, so they keep adding. Where the principals are phenomenal, you don't have to worry about that school. It just trickles down. So you need to get very good leadership. That's one. But two is to keep your staff motivated. Number three, even if you are strict, you have to be disciplined and strict, whatever, that you mean business and that you are a hard taskmaster, but a lot of love, a lot of care on a personal basis. If you can, amalgamate both the things together, you will have wonderful institutions. So my ethos has been love and care, love and joy, love and care, love and joy. That's how all my institutions are working. And I feel so wonderful when I see these videos that they create, the work that they are doing, the laurels that they are winning, all kinds of things. They're coming in senior positions everywhere. One of my schools very recently, I think day before yesterday, this was in Nimbahera. I've got schools in far-flung areas also, all places, even in villages. So there are schools of all kinds, but I put them at par. I mean, it's not as though this school is, because it's flourishing and it's on a 40-acre campus. Even a school on a 5-acre campus gets the same everything. It doesn't really matter. So that's not really important. But you wanted to ask me, yes. So one is personal involvement, which has to be there, the interest, the passion, and the motivation to drive it. And you're sorted.
Very well said, ma'am. I totally agree that behind every successful school is a great principal, And that is the key. When you have a passionate leader, that passion automatically drills down, as ma'am said. So passion is the key, and you need to be, in touch, love, care, that is need to be given to your team, and then they perform wonderfully. So amazing, ma'am. These are the ethos that we all school leaders need to remember and constantly remind us. That is what is required. Going ahead, ma'am. Ma'am, I don't know who is your peer, because you are a legend yourself, a living legend.
Actually, I worked with Sunny Varki, who's his name is known internationally. He's created the GEMS education empire in England, in South Africa, even in India. But of course, Middle East, he's kind of captured it so beautifully. And since I worked closely, and that man who only dines and wines with Tony Blair and Bill Clinton and all that, was the one who would drive as a driver the first bus in his first school. Can you believe that? You know what? That's what I mean. That, yourself with your own hands, when you do something, that joy, that passion becomes far more. And I've seen him drive, the buses when he didn't have drivers, when there was nothing. And look at the empire now. If you Google GEMS education, you'll be floored. They've got all curricula. They've got schools of all kinds, different levels, very high levels, as well as just the basic levels, all kinds. He caters to everything. So he's definitely someone, he's a friend, and I admire him, of course. And, he started very small. His mother was a teacher of the Sheikh of Dubai. That's all. I mean, they were very ordinary teachers, his parents. But he recognized that teacher in Sunny Varki's mother. And that is what has made. So you see, everything has stemmed from education. This is what I'm trying to say. You see how powerful education is, you know. Of course, there are lots of other people who've done a lot. There's an ex-student of mine of 19, I think this was 79, 1979 batch, my first 12th class batch, which I taught. His name is Sanjoy Roy. He's the one who's brought the Jaipur Lit Festival, not only to Jaipur now, all over the world. And he's so brilliant and articulate. And the way he interviews, all these, Sadhguru, he interviews all these, everybody. Rishi Kapoor's interview is what I was there for. I go for these Jaipur Lit Fests. And how brilliantly he conducted the, my whole body was like, with full of pride, and I had goosebumps throughout that this is my student. And then at the end of it, he comes and touches my feet, and in front of everybody says, "Ma'am, I'm what you have made me." So what else do you want? I mean, it's the greatest award what could get, or recognition or whatever from God, So there are people, but Sunny Varki he had predicted not this pandemic, but he had told us in 1997 at a conference when he was heading it, that we will soon become a digital world. Start gearing up for that. Start working on the blended learning program. And we, at that time, believe me, I didn't understand it at all. 1997, he said, we will become more than 50% digitized. And look what's happening. So I admire him truly, and I respect him, and I really feel he is one of my inspirers, for sure.
Certainly, amazingly humble and visionary leader he is. And yes, he is certainly someone to be looked up to. Great, ma'am. So, ma'am, there is one question which is pondering on my mind constantly. And as I'm hearing you out, how do you manage everything? I mean, you keep on learning every day. You grow,
yes.
You evolve, and you are a mother, you are a wife. How do you manage everything?
Again, as I told you, this is God's grace. You know what? Your thoughts are very magnetic. I feel you are what you think, and you are what you eat. Finished. If you can be pure in both the things, eat correctly and think purely, you are done. And then I am also organized. I mean, at night I write my points. In the morning, just before my prayers, I'll write what have I achieved today, what didn't I achieve. And I get all my students and teachers, I've got them into this mode that there should be a little diary with you, so that there's no question of forgetting or whatever. You can prioritize what you want. See, I've brought up two children who I'm very proud of. My daughter is an acclaimed international singer, but a brilliant academic in academics also. She was a topper throughout. She did the English honors and all that. Punam Kashyap, she's quite well known.
Yes, certainly.
And my son is the young digital Turk of the country he was the first country head of Google India, and then launched the Ibibo group, the traders.com, ibibo.com, payu.com. He's a .com guy. He created that empire, married Make My Trip, and sold the whole thing. And now he has launched IND Wealth and gone places. He features in the Forbes. He's everywhere. He's just launched cryptocurrency, and he has become a buzz all over the country, all over the world. His fintech company features as amongst the top 200 of the world. So I'm very proud of both of them. And that is what I really did ask of God, nothing else. And that has been given in plenty.
And I think you have truly set an example for all our parents out there that you need to be a role model. Children observes you. And I think the way you have put up your journey, the way you have been working, that is what somewhere has, inculcated in the kids also. And they learned that you need to work hard, you need to dream big, and then only you can achieve big. And that is what is.
There are two different dreams. Now, although my husband was a little wary about, my daughter getting into the, showbiz world or whatever, but I allowed them. I carved that niche that they should. flower and bloom and be able to nurture their dream and realize it also. See, whatever worlds they are in is just, I mean, I'm not into finance or digitization either, but we give them that kind of a platform. We give them that love and security, care, and also whatever we can, whatever way we can inspire them so that they reach where they wish to reach. And also for all parents, most importantly, if a doctor says, no, I'm a doctor, I want my son to become a doctor or my daughter to become a doctor, that's not right. Now, I didn't want anybody to become a teacher. That's not required, you see. My husband's in the army, even he didn't. But he was a little apprehensive and skeptical about the showbiz world, the media, and all that. But my daughter kept herself aboard. There was a recent interview where this question was asked to both of us together. It was something like, educators make superstars. So what I was trying to tell them is, superstars are not made by educators only. It is parenting. It's the right kind of atmosphere. It could be school, it could be home, it could be friends, and everything together. And they turn into superstars provided you let them flower, let them grow in that space. So this question was also, asked at that time. And also answered very well. Yes.
We as parents need to celebrate the individuality, the uniqueness of our children and support them in every kind. That is what is required. Wonderful. So on this amazing note, we reach to the very interesting segment of the show. This is called rapid fire round, ma'am. You have to answer in one word or a sentence.
All right.
Here goes the first question. You spend your recreational time indulging in activities like
listening to music.
We knew that one is coming.
And reading, gardening, most importantly, every morning for an hour. My gardens are my pride, my glory. I have, by the grace of God, when my son was building the house, he was very, very clear that mom wants gardens. So we are lucky. Another love of mine, gardening.
And that is where you see, the life blooming, and every flower blooming brings smile to our face. So gardening is such a beautiful thing to do.
Yes, it is. I also play the piano and I dabble in painting also, but now of late I haven't painted anything. But all fine arts have been my joy.
As we are unraveling your journey more, ma'am, I'm wondering what a multifaceted personality I have. She plays musical instruments, she paints, she gardens. Amazing, I'm so very overwhelmed knowing you today.
That's bless you.
Here goes my next question. Since, ma'am, you are an amazing singer yourself, I would like you to sing a song that makes you smile.
No, sweetie, that I will not do, I'm afraid. I developed nodules in my throat and I stopped singing. Actually, I gave up music because of my in-laws. I think in my first interview, I did tell them that they didn't want me to sing. And they were such amazing people. They were wonderful otherwise. So I gave up my music completely. And then I developed some nodules because I've been doing workshops for hours and hours and hours. So now I can't sing. But I was my daughter's first guru, and I've seen my dream, realized my dream through her. So you can Google her, listen to her. She's singing all the time, all over the world.
Amazing. So Lata ji or Asha ji, who is your favorite singer?
Lata.
Lata ji.
Out of the two of them, but even Asha, but no, I prefer Lata.
Right. Great.
Lata cannot compare, let me tell you. There is no other Lata, and there cannot be. I've had the good fortune of living with Begum Akhtar. Next to her house, my aunt was staying, and our whole house, family is musically inclined. So we used to sing for hours together. So somebody asked me this question: if you were singing even now, what kind of a singer would you see yourself? I said a Thumri singer or a ghazal singer like Begum Akhtar.
Wow.
My mother was a singer, and she was a radio artist also. It's just education took over completely, and then that was it.
All right. Painting is, complete this sentence. Painting is dash.
Painting is replete with joy. It kind of rejuvenates you when you are painting, I'm telling you. And if you can come up to the level of what your dream was, or what you were thinking of, you put your thoughts with a splash of colors, or I've even done black and white. I've done everything. I've done water and oil. You cannot imagine what goes through your body. It just kind of rejuvenates you, I'm telling you.
Certainly, painting is a therapy. Definitely, I totally agree to it. My last question of this segment, ma'am, if you get Chirag, Aladdin ka Chirag, and the genie comes out, what would be the 3 wishes that you will make?
Number one, I want to see a smile on every child's face. The little ones, on the road who are begging, I don't want to see that. Let that be eradicated completely. Let every child have a home, a good food, be able to smile. My first thing I will ask the genie is this: let them grow. Once they've come into this world, they should live life to the hilt. That's the first wish I would want. The second I would want, this is of course related to education, because you didn't ask me this question about what changes. Are you going to ask me this?
Yeah, I will. Certainly, ma'am.
What has been a sore point with me is these coaching centers. Over these 40 plus years, I have tried to stop it, because those very teachers who are running coaching centers are not teaching in the classroom. And then they call them in the afternoons, taking extra money. Now, that's not education. That's not right. This is a crime, in my opinion. And I've tried to put a stop to it, and I'm still working towards that. Right. And the third, if the GP could stop corruption and crime, we will live in heaven.
Hopefully, ma'am, we do get a genie one day, and if these 3 wishes comes true, world would be heaven itself. Certainly. So wonderful, ma'am. And here goes my next question to you. You have traveled the world. You are the education maker yourself. So what education system would you recommend for India? And what is the vision ahead? That system, the hybrid learning.
See, hybrid, yes. We keep talking about hybrid, but we've got to execute it in the right manner, and which has to be understood, because I'm trying it in all my schools, and even I'm finding it a big challenge. It's not easy. The timetables are difficult. All kinds of things are difficult. Like, for example, if a child has come to school today and is not coming tomorrow, then how does the continuity happen? What happens at home? So it's a lot of work, and I'm working on the hybrid model in any case, and that will come, and that has to come. There's no choice in that. But there are certain things that have to be borne in mind. Of course, we would want the best, best of all systems put together, a conglomeration. Like today, we cannot say Maria Montessori is the best. No, we can't do that. Now, that's how I've started my play schools. I'm giving what experiences I've felt with the little babies. So there are lots of things which may not be written anywhere on books or whatever, but if they are going to make a difference, why not adopt them? So what we need is a tech-savvy system, yes. Digitally connected, yes, but more so emotionally connected. That has to be there. We cannot rule out that at all. A teacher cannot be replaced. Let's understand that. Then coding should begin at the age of at least 5 or 6, because our coders today will be artificial intelligence researchers tomorrow. So this is something educators need to understand. You see, even promoters who don't want to spend money, but they need to understand that this is now the need of the hour. Then we certainly need to tap everybody's potential in trying to bring about more innovative ideas. Lots of innovations are required. For example, gaming. Use gaming as one of the, tools. Also, skilling. Now, what our country particularly requires is skilling, vocationalization. And we should not worry if a child is not mathematics oriented. Why do we have to push that child into that? And whatever basic is required should be done in a playful manner, in a gaming manner, where the child absorbs it in a happy manner. And most importantly, I would rule out examinations and do only regular assessments, which are they call them continuous assessment. They call everything, but they don't do anything. They are called continuous assessments, but no. The curriculum needs to be integrated and more collaborative. When I say integrated, I mean if a class in biology is happening or a class in physics, you have to integrate it with music, with your physical education teacher, with your English teacher, with your art teacher. Why not? It'll be such fun. And in this integrated, collaborative manner, lot will happen.
Certainly.
So, then the last thing will be, we need to connect with the EdTech platforms to offer different skill-oriented courses. So schools need to understand that they cannot live in their own cocoon anymore. People who, meet everything outside. The world is now, in any case, becoming a one global world. So we need to understand that. Then I've already talked about coaching because I can't stand it. This coaching part, the educators, the leaders, or the, whatever professionals are there, even promoters need to think, what can we do? Your own teachers, you upskill them. You can give them a little extra, call them in the afternoon times, after school hours, and there can be various different classes. There can be remediation, there can be brilliant school children's, brilliant students require another boost of another level. So that can be done. So it again, as I said, if a leader is dynamic, then that's the limit. So that's how they have these changes have to come in.
Certainly, very, very beautifully said that this is what is needed to be done with the education system. And I think NEP looks really promising. The new education policy 2020, it has tried to cover everything, but now let's see how well it is executed and implemented. That is where the key lies.
Although this policy has come in now, but if I may say so without being naive, I've been practicing it for the last 40 years. I was a young teacher and was teaching grade 11, a subject on helicopters. And I didn't teach them in class. I took the whole class to the helipad, Safdarjung, got an appointment, got every child to experience the helicopter and ask questions from everybody. So the children came back so excited. They knew more than what the lesson talked about, the helicopters. And similarly, there was another lesson I remember I was doing with grade 12 at that time. And these are 17, 18-year-olds, which was Portrait of a Grandmother by Khushwant Singh. And my grandmother was alive. She was nearing 100, 90s or something, but she lived for 105. She was another inspiration, a very strong, dynamic lady. I just adored her, and I adore her even now. And I feel she's there with me all the time. I took my whole class to meet her, and the rest of the sections, they got so, kind of left out. They went to the principal and they said, please, we want, because you know how it is in DPS? There's section A to B, C, D, till K, L, M, whatever. Okay. Now, I was not teaching all of them. I was only teaching two sections because I was head of the Department of English. So they said, no, we want to. And then the principal gave special permission, special buses, and I had separate days. And in the gardens, my grandmother sang to them, talked to them, and they loved it for a whole day. He organized lunch for them, my Mamaji, because he was the chief minister of Delhi at that time. I was lucky. But what I'm telling you is, whatever the policy talks about, I've done far more. because of my passion. You see, nobody told me to do it, you know. In fact, my classes would have a garden in DPS Mathura Road where they were growing their own stuff. We were talking about it because growing a garden means you're doing botany, you're doing biology, you're doing chemistry, you're doing physics, you're doing English and mathematics, everything. Because children are learning everything. It's all, you know, evolution.
Wow.
So wonderful talking to you. I hope you are satisfied and all done, or you want something else.
Ma'am, there is so much to explore. If I sit here, you have like wisdom to infinity. And I have already taken much of your time. It was such a...
45 minutes is what Evelyn had told me. So it's all right. Not to worry. Not to worry.
It's really, you know, an absolutely...
It's a joy to recreate. It's a joy to reminisce. It's a joy to recapitulate, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm also quite happy to talk to you. You're such a lovely, charming, smiling face. And that's what I love. That's what I like.
So much, ma'am. And I just want that when I am your age, I am as energized as you. I don't know whether I'll be. For you, it looks like age is just a number and your journeys, you know, you're
no. I can feel the age, my dear. I will turn 74 on Christmas Day, this Christmas.
But ma'am, still, you know, when you talk, there is so much of vision around to think big, to, you know, and you have been visionary since the very start. So you are like fountainhead of illuminating ideas. There is so much to learn from you. And I feel truly privileged and blessed that I had an opportunity to interact with you. Thank you so much, ma'am. This is such a wonderful experience for me to know you.
Thank you, my sweet. I'll just give you 2 lines of our own schools. Sure. Our Deaf World Foundation schools, they've crafted a unique niche moving into the realms of a new tomorrow. They are certainly a force to reckon with, where talent meets excellence, where young minds find joyous wings to soar, where creativity plus joy is the mantra. So this, everybody can, it's a short, brief thing, but it gives you the crux of what an institution should be.
Certainly, you know, if institution is built on this mantra, then definitely the education will be truly meaningful.
Thank you very much, and a big God bless to you.